Nick was already outside, his horn blaring impatiently. She stood at the front door, car keys in hand, her lips shimmering with gloss, carefully avoiding my eyes. "Come on," she said breezily, like she was introducing me to a book club friend instead of the man she'd been sneaking around with. My grip tightened around the ceramic coffee mug. "If he steps 1 foot on this property," I said, voice low and controlled, "I'll break his jaw. And if you walk out with him now, you'll carry the weight of that choice for the rest of your life." She blinked twice. Then she laughed, not because it was funny, but because she didn't expect I'd finally speak like that. And then she opened the door. I met Elise 7 years ago during a cool, golden autumn. She wore a mustard yellow coat and smiled like someone who hadn't been bruised by the world yet. I was the steady one. She called me her anchor, the man who made her feel safe without ever asking her to prove herself. 3 years later, we were married. I bought a cozy home tucked into a quiet neighborhood, painted the porch myself. Sundays were filled with the sound of her humming old melodies as she watered the flower beds. At the time, I thought that was love. That was joy. But things began to shift. Evening gym sessions ran later. Her phone stayed eerily silent, even when it buzzed. She laughed at things I hadn't said. One night, her phone lit up on the couch. I reached for it. She snatched it away so quickly it nearly flew from her hands. "Privacy matters, babe," she whispered. "Sure," I replied quietly. Then there was the unfamiliar scent, an overpowering, musky cologne that clung to her coat like a challenge. It wasn't mine. I didn't confront her. I just started watching. One day, she forgot to close her laptop. Just once. Her Google Maps history told me everything. A riverside hotel she had visited twice that month. I matched the dates to her work dinners. Her lies weren't sloppy. They were meticulous. That's what stung the most, not just the betrayal, but seeing how alive she seemed around him. I stopped sleeping. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't break anything. I simply remembered who I had always been, the man she once clung to like home. I wasn't ablaze. I was the tide, silent, steady, and the tide always pulls everything back in the end. So I took action. Not revenge, just truth. I hired a professional to quietly gather evidence. Screenshots, GPS logs, text threads, photographs. She hadn't even bothered using a fake name at the hotel. I opened a separate bank account and began moving money little by little. She didn't notice. I legally updated the deed to the house. It had always been in my name, purchased before the marriage. She had brushed off the prenup back then, barely skimming it. And I waited. That morning, she wore red lipstick. Elise only chose red when she wanted to feel powerful. She walked to the door without saying a word. I didn't speak, at least not until her hand touched the doorknob. "If he shows up here," I repeated, calm and unwavering, "his jaw won't be intact. And if you go with him, you'll regret it for the rest of your days." Her smile wavered, barely. Then she left. I stood by the window and watched her get into his car. She never once looked back. 10 minutes later, I made the calls. My lawyer filed for divorce, submitting every file. Photos, messages, hotel receipts, timestamps. All of it. Those receipts were also sent to her HR department. Nick, it turned out, wasn't just a fling. He was her direct superior. And the company had a strict policy against employee-supervisor relationships. Within 48 hours, both of them were suspended. I changed the locks, packed her belongings with care, hired a courier to deliver everything to her sister's place. When she returned that Sunday evening, disheveled, drained, her mascara streaked down her cheeks, she found a single note taped to the door. "You bet your future on Nick. Go ahead, cash it in." She called. She texted. Left voicemail after voicemail. None of it mattered. "He panicked," she said in one. "I don't even know where he is now." I didn't answer. 3 weeks later, we met again, at the courthouse. She looked smaller, like life had started eroding her spirit. Her attorney requested the house, alimony. My lawyer handed over the prenup. Alongside it, every photograph, every document, and a copy of her company's policy handbook. The judge didn't hesitate. She got nothing. As I turned to leave, she trailed behind me to the elevator. Was any of it ever real? She asked, voice barely audible. I looked at her, really looked, for the first time in a long while. You tell me, I said. You're the one who walked away. The elevator doors closed. I didn't look back. Some people gamble everything on a lie, convinced there won't be a price to pay. Elise learned the truth only after it was too late. You only get one man in your life who would take a bullet for you. After that, all you're left with are the echoes of what might have been.